Roblox is taking down all of your faces.
But this is one of the dumbest updates I've ever seen on the platform, and it shows, bro. If you go on Twitter right now, everybody is complaining.
Roblox has no respect for you as a creator if your creations don't match their creative vision. That's true.
Why are we removing one of the things that no one wanted to get removed?
And then they are deleting them. They're not only going off sale, guys, they're getting deleted.
I really don't like covering about drama in this channel, but this will probably link down to a video in the future. I don't want to be that person that just makes this channel about negativity, rather inform a content that is viewed from two sides of the same coin. Though, can I say that this affects me and what I'm talking about? Yes, it does. My whole sprite, image, or videos of me go by how my character is shown. And there is moments where I'll cut to show my avatar with a blank facial expression. This expression is probably one of my favorite expressions to use amongst any other face I have in my avatar builder. This is why I stood with the model and how it looks for so long. The moving or animated version of this face sucks. It's pretty obvious why I would say that. Now, why I brought up that is due to a future update that Roblox decided to check on about, which kills me and a lot of people in some regard. I have never came across something as blatant as this: the removal of classical heads and faces. I genuinely thought that this was another ragebait tweet from a troll account when I woke up as of recently, but no, it was actually true. And now this is where the video is entwined. Creecraft and a few other YouTubers went over this before I did, and here's my take. What the hell is Roblox thinking? There's no need to remove an image of how Roblox represents. People love the 2D faces that Roblox have. People have questioned the idea and the look of 3D faces, and I'm one of them. Back in 2023, they released a post about updating dynamic heads, and a summary for that is just to change some heads from the classical section to be 3D and then putting the 2D ones off sale, which, like, back then, people hated the idea of this. The funniest thing I've seen is that in my last video, I told how Roblox tries to be nonsensical with most of their controversial updates. And this remains true, because 40 minutes after this post was announced, they tried putting salt over the wound with another post that just makes it even worse. I can't even bother to read this because the post is just pure corporate fancying without the impression that their community is watching over. But let me walk you over one that stood out to me. The marketplace policy for avatar heads required that all heads allow users to express themselves, and we're applying the same standards to Roblox classic heads and faces by completing the conversion to all classic heads and faces into dynamic heads. In other words, they want people to adjust their avatar in any way they like, but in their own vision. There is so much wrong with this because for me, my avatar is bland and revolves off the feeling of semi-nostalgia. Having this 3D pasted face on it while I do my showings on my video would most likely horrify people, including myself. I am disgusted at 3D faces, and no matter how many times Roblox tries to say that they need to be accepted, there is no room to accepting it because it goes against what the community sees about Roblox. A lot of players run off the classical aesthetic, and Roblox making this change literally affects 90% of the user base that rocks with 2D faces. Which also, limited faces are being changed, which doesn't take long to realize that messing with any limited leads to a market rupture and the value of them goes down by a lot. But it doesn't stop there, because I only been talking about classical faces and heads that Roblox introduced. But this is everything in the 2D face and head category that will be affected. UGC creators are forced to agree with this change and have a month's time to update their faces to be 3D. And it isn't only in the classical head section where most creators make static dynamic heads, but also in the face section where mask over accessories that are considered faces. Which is so absurd because not a lot of creators make 3D animated faces because they don't have the practice and deem making 2D faces easier. But no, Roblox isn't thinking that way, which they don't realize that these are people's jobs that are getting affected. Roblox is trying to completely remove the static faces off the platform. This whole next upcoming update just stacked onto the last painful one about conversation, and it doesn't seem like it'll stop there. Roblox listening to our feedback seems like it isn't directed to us, rather the investors who work with Roblox to induce a stable income and have a better word with them. Roblox is purely making these changes because they got hit the heaviest on the stock market, so rather listening to us, they rather listen to the investors. Which aside from that, something to add on from my last video, they will be rechecking your age if you're apparently not in the age group Roblox thinks you're in, which doesn't make much sense to me. It made me question, how would this work? Playing games that aren't in your age group or talking maturely than other people? I would think they would do it if you log in from a different location or so, but this is active checks we are talking about. I'm still glad that they're working on matchmaking for Roblox games and age groups, however, but this recheck age thing is very out of proportion, which really doesn't make much sense when you think about it. Again, I hate talking about drama, but this and the last video were two issues that I had to say what was on my mind. Being quiet about it just hurts me more rather than addressing it. But without further to say, thank you for watching, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you on the next one.